عليكم. زي ما محمد قدم بيسعدني جدا to talk to you. كان بيني وبين محمد little bit discussion how we can enrich this presentation, كيف ممكن يكون فائدة عامة. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nidal. I'm working as Head of Innovation in Middle East and Africa. And I run two cloud innovation centers at two universities, the University of Bahrain and Bahrain Polytechnic. And I run innovation to solve real world problems. And we're going to show the little bit the practice that we have done. My experience comes, I'm a certified Chief Innovation Officer, and my PhD is around innovation. And I was Chief Digital Officer at Microsoft, and I was in the All Fronts, which is was in the vendor, client, partner. I've been in all of these, so I put myself in that perspective. And I'll start, inshallah. We will talk about design thinking, but I thought while discussing with Muhammad to put like 3 or 4 slides introduction to innovation, because we implement our design thinking for innovation. And inshallah البرزنتيشن القادمة راح تكون fully around innovation, but this will have a few slides around it. So when we want to explore any idea, for example, if you want to do any solution, any innovative idea, any prototype, any experiment, usually you explore an idea. It starts with an idea. And this is the core of where we're going to mention later as design thinking. You explore an idea or an opportunity. And I'm going to distinguish a little bit between the idea and opportunity, either new product, service, or experience that would delight the customer. So the end result that we want to delight our customers, and there's an idea, there's an opportunity, or solving a problem. So we solve that, either we enhance the product, the service, or the experience. So if I mention this, once we do explore, we start defining the idea, and we start then we start, we start with the customer, as I mentioned, and we will mention, inshallah, starting with the customer. We work backward. I'm going to mention the working backward is our methodology of design thinking. I'm going to detail it a little bit further. That we meet the customer need, then we start building, and we use the cloud. As you know, we are cloud provider, and we have 200 plus services, and we develop services on the cloud, so we can test it with our customers. So this one is a short, a quick, just I'm not going to talk about it, but I want to show you.
التليفون النهارده اتجنن، كل ساعه يرن ويطلع لي واحد ويقول لي عايزين سواق.
بيقول لك ايه؟
بيقول عايزين سواق.
المشروع نجح. المشروع نجح.
مشروع ايه؟
قولي لي الاول كام تليفون ضرب؟
ما تتكلم، انت هتجننا ليه؟
بس انا النهارده ابتديت حياتي من جديد. عملت شركه لتشغيل السواقين بالساعه. اصل في ناس كتير عندهم عربيات وما عندهمش فلوس كفايه يدفعوا 100 سواق. بيسوقوا بايديهم. يروحوا مكاتبهم الصبح وتفضل العربيه ملطوعه قدام الباب طول النهار. يبقى اللي عايز سواق يروح مشوار مع العيله يتصل بينا. نبعت له سواق ياخد اجرته بالساعه، والساعه بريال. والنهارده نزلت اعلان صغير في الجرايد وما كنتش فاكر المشروع هينجح بالسرعه دي.
وطبعا نزلت نمره تليفون البيت في الاعلان.
ايوه بس
يعني بيتنا بقى جراج. دي عامله تعملها يا ممدوح.
انت مجنون. لازم تعرف ان البيت ده فيه بنات. انا هقطع التليفون من بكره.
And I mentioned this, I put this video for 2 reasons. First of all, this, as you know, من film Mani Shams is like 1960s, is around a problem statement that they found it's going to be appealing, it's going to solve a problem, but at the same time, there's a course around that is the business model, the operation model, the technology, why it didn't work that time. And as we speak today, it's working. Uber is working now, and it is running on AWS. And I want to link it that the problem stayed there, but the way that it was solved, maybe the technology assigned it. So I'll talk a little bit about the innovation. Let's talk about invention. As you know, is defining or creating a product for the first time, and this is something new. This is اختراع. الابتكار is improve, as you can see, makes significant contribution to existing product and services. And there's another thing called exnovation, which means the maturity, as you can see, that products and processes that have been tested and confirmed to be best in class are standardized, but they are limited to innovate further. And there are a few examples, but let's talk about as introduction to innovation. It is from philosophical definition, it's connecting two things on a deeper and more meaningful level. But if you look at it from a business, it is doing something new or a novel way that delivers value, أحسن value, better experience تجربة للcustomer and the market والسوق, بس بنفس الوقت it's profitable to the business. And this is what's meant. So if we talk a little bit, and I show you each one of this because it has a problem statement, and we're going to talk a little bit more in the coming few slides about the problem statement. As you can see, if we consider drone as an invention, كاختراع, الابتكار اللي جاء عليه, as you can see, this one تنقل, let's say, emergency kit. So there's a problem. The problem I want to drill deeper a little bit in a couple of slides is the problem, which is كان في تأخير في الambulance ليوصل منطقة الحادث. But this problem was solved through drone to deliver the emergency kit in a faster manner. So this enhanced the better experience, more value. If we look at this, this is also launched in GITEX as a taxi. As you know, this one is the problem is it takes 18 to 22 minutes as average to deploy ladders for المباني العالية حتى تطفي الحرائق. But there's a problem is the time. So I'm just trying to mention Amazon is also delivering some parcels. Dubai, they are delivering also protected documents through drones. And if you look at this, there are also multiple things, pesticides, fertilizers. So there is a problem, and how we solve it comes technically. And this is one of the maybe the largest marketing usage of drones. This was branding for Genesis to their new brand through thousands of drones over Korea for several days. And this shows each one has a problem and our opportunity. If you can see from a couple of them, there are opportunities and some of them are problems. I'm going to discuss it. This is about exnovation. We wanted to quickly go through it. As you can see, exnovation, it means that I innovate on something. It takes a long time for me to change it. If you look at the left, just on the left, like the Mercedes, it took them 10 years. The Korean is 5 years. But this one, for example, because the lack of innovation, the first one on the right-hand side, the Pajero, is 2000, and the one below is 2020. And this means that 20 years is a very minimal, and that's why exnovated and they went out of the business. So let's look one quickly about innovation. It's either on product or process or business model. I'm going to mention a couple of examples. Some question will ask how we can do it, what we can do, how we can make it easier. Also, the incremental evolution, breakthrough, and transformational are the levels and characteristics of innovation. I'm going to mention a little bit, we work intentionally, backward, and iteratively, and I'm going to mention the meta model, how we do it. I'm going to type deeper into the, we start with the vision. We are stubborn on the vision, but flexible on the details. Be clear on the why, but flexible on the what. The mental model, how we do it, how we get experience, how we generate ideas. Then we reach here to the design thinking. And what is design thinking? It is an iterative method, as you know, used to understand the people, question assumptions, and redefine problems, and develop creative models and test solutions. This is a non-linear, and there is something, if there's a standard from the British standard, there are 5 stages for it. As you can see, it's the innovation process concept, and this is start with empathy, اللي هي التعاطف, then define, ideate, prototype, and testing. This is the, let's say, the common and standard, but I did my research around 15 themes or design thinking, let's say, themes by big companies, either consulting or technology or software companies, and how they do it. Some of them, they use it internally or externally. And I want to mention one of them very famous books from Dr. Jane Littke. As you can see on the right-hand side above, there are 4 steps as she defined the design thinking. It is the problem. What if I solve it this way? What wows and what works? What wows, it's what's something impressive, wow factor, but it's not all the time when I do something wow factor, it works. But if you can look at number 8 below, it is empathize, which is the DI school from Stanford, is the empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Some of them like IBM or other company consultation, they are doing on focusing on the process. Some of them focus on the customer, some of them focus on the technology. But in general, these are a list of, as we call, themes and approach for different organizations, as I mentioned, for design thinking. But let's proceed a little bit, and I can show you as how we do it as AWS. We have the same thing inherited from design thinking. We have 5 stages exactly: inspire, engage, define, deliver, and impact. But as you can see, on the right-hand side, what are the deliverables? But on the swim lanes, the first one, you look at how much we focus on the customer, understanding the customer problem, research it, level up idea, qualify it, score it, and then working back and work. What does it mean? It means that we focus a lot on empathy. And there's another slide that I'm going to show it a little bit more details before we reach even define or prototype. So it took like 40% of our work is empathizing and defining the problem statement. According to legal, I think law, it says if you manage to define the problem properly, you're 50% solved it. So that's how we focus. 95% of our products and services comes from the customer request and based on customer need. This one, it's around because most of you coming from education, or you are in the education, and this may be for faculty members, is we're moving with the design thinking that we work through, moving from traditional passive learning into active learning. And as you can see, from working backward workshop, I'm going to show you a couple of examples: technology workshops, prototyping, teaching others, productizing. That makes it active. And this, you can see the percentage on the right hand side is the average retention of knowledge. As you can see, it can reach up to 95% when you teach others and immediate use. So this one is important. When I was talking to Muhammad, I concluded this slide for you is around how we work. What does it mean in each stage of design thinking? How we work, live examples. I'm going to give you 2 live examples that we've done following this process, how we do it. As you can see, identify, we have also leadership principles, how we work. That's our 16 leadership principles. As you can see, learn and be curious. But meaning identify, it means that the prospective concept customer is the value proposition, ideal customer, initial team. That's how we work on it. And if you look at below is ideation, scoping, the challenge, the value, and all of that. This is from empathize. If we want to go to the engage, we pick a specific problem. We know the executive sponsor, so the customer is defined. We have the core team, the extended team, and the community. The third one is defined. We do the innovation workshop, and here we started defining the concept, the components, and all of that. Then we go to prototype. And once we do the prototyping, I'm going to show some examples of prototypes that we've done. Then we realize the value. This is from the Global Institute of Innovation also. This is the design thinking from the innovation, let's say, الحوكمة. As you can see, 6 stages: the strategy, the capture, the evaluation, initiation, then piloting and scaling. And this is something also we've done. I want to mention something is about the culture of innovation. As you know, we used to study in school and universities that we know, for example, senior project, we know that how it's going to be worked, how it's going to be developed, what's the result. We say if it's going to work, it's not an experiment. So we go into ambiguity, and we know usually we enter the problem without knowing the solution, because it will be coming down the way. I look at this like this is our how we organize innovation. I'm not going to talk about the rest of them. I'm just going to talk about the mechanism, which are the working backward, which is our design thinking, the working backward press release and frequent asked questions. I'm going to show you an example. And how we do that, when we say empathy, it says we start with the customer and working backward. And this is like an example how we do it. We start something called framing the challenge. What does it mean? We look at the customer and the problem or opportunity. So when we say empathize in design thinking, it means like we understand the customer, we define the customer, we look at solving the problem. As I showed you in the drone side, there are some of them an opportunity or problem. Usually we start with the problem. And I'm going to show you an example is when you define a problem or you tap into an opportunity, then we look at ideate, define, build, and prototype, as you can see if it's a need or want, and how the solution will look like. This is an example, maybe most of you know about Amazon Go and how it started. It started with a problem statement. This is a shop, Amazon retail shop that people get in, either pass their mobile or credit card into shops. We have more than 170 around the world. You go in, you pick anything, and then you leave without cashier. It's all deducted. And that's why I want to show you how it's real worked with us. This one is like when we say define the customer from empathize, it's the customer is the busy, on the go, technology savvies and urban dwellers. These are the people in Amazon, in Seattle, in Building 1, downtown Seattle. There were three developers, young developers. When they had a break, they go down to the cold store, but they found crowds when they want to buy just few things on the corner. They have break, they want to, let's say, pick a chocolate bar or a small sandwich or whatever, but they found queue. And this is accurate because when they did the study, it took around 10 to 12 minutes for them to buy something. So when they went up, and what they were looking at the opportunity is they want to spend short time during their break. But this is for them is a problem, and they were thinking how we can solve this problem, and with empathize. So they were the customers, they empathize, they defined the problem, they ideated about it, and then they tried to solve it. How it started, they thought they want to improve the retail experience is too broad, the pay by credit is too narrow. They're not thinking big enough when they want to check out, but what they wanted to do, the solution that they thought of is eliminate the checkout process. And this started the process working as the Amazon Go. But how did this start? If you look at the empathize, this fridge, this is called Smart Fridge, started in Brazil, and there was a problem. And why I'm stressing always when you define the problem, there was a hotel in Brazil. There was 3,500 rooms, and they wanted to check out between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m., as you know. And each one of them, they were sending housekeeping to check the fridge, how much they consumed, and call the reception in order for them to build the customer. So what happened? This one, few engineers, they started with this idea that gave us the Amazon Go. They put some cameras, weight, sensors, and then they can print immediately the bill. And that defined that now it's implemented in Coca-Cola and Pepsi in Brazil and multiple this. But this one started the Amazon Go. So when we started the Amazon Go, that was the base of it, from a problem, small problem statement. Check out, people queuing to check out from the room. As you can see, the employees, the young developers, their queue for buying small stuff. So they came up with checkout, and then it increased to Whole Foods. And if you look at the lower picture down, this is even the technology grew. And then there was a problem. People came to us and say, you have a good technology that it's working, which is cashierless. People, they come in. Can we use this? We have a problem. We want to sell our products at the airport. This one is a real case in the airport. And they say the problem, empathize, just stay with me on the problem. The problem say, we want to sell at the airport, but the airport works 24/7. And if I want to sell at the airport, then I need to have, let's say, 3 employees and 1 staff and 1 cashier, then maybe time attendance, maybe a supervisor, and then 3 shifts. It means that is huge. They say we have a problem. If we put this small shop 24/7, the profit, and we will not be profitable. If you remember when we said in a profitable manner, that add value or business in a profitable manner, then they implemented the technology and we call it walk out today. Now it doesn't have any employee 24/7 except 1 employee in the store that he has a tablet. He gets notified that if any product is less than, let's say, a minimum percentage, he goes and stuff it there. This is about, this is from Forbes, say this is a disruption in the retail business. This one, Sainsbury, I took the photo myself. We also, Sainsbury is implementing our technology because they have the same problem. They say we wanted to open 24/7. We face increasing cost of labor, and we want to maximize our profit, and we want to be available 24/7, but we want to make it profitable. And now this is pick and go in Sainsbury in London. So this works 24/7, and anybody can get in with their mobile, and they just scan their mobile and they leave. This is another thing to tell you. Now the problem statement here, it's in 2026, the World Cup today. This stadium is going to implement the same technology. Why? Because they said we want to sell more, we want to profit more, but the people queue between the 2 terms, بين شوطين, and it means that they queue and we have less sales. If we can implement this technology, that people can come in, they can buy within seconds without queue, and they can leave, and this will maximize. This one, we implemented this in 5 or 6 stadiums around the world so far. It made 600% more of sales, because now you can go within 20 to 30 seconds, you pick anything and go back to your seat without queue, without payment. So this shows you that there was a problem, and you're adding a new user experience from design thinking, solving the problem, empathize, you define it, ideate it, then prototype it and launch it. So this is something, I mean, then when the technology, we don't have time maybe to show this video, but this one also, the technology came later, and instead of credit card, people came to us saying, we use credit card, but suppose I'm in the gym or I forgot my credit card, what to do? Now during COVID, because of touchless or contactless devices, we created based on this, because we hear from the customer, and this is empathizing. We defined the problem that they do not need to touch, but also we found out that their palm, بصمة اليد بدون اللمس, is defined and it's different by from each other, and they can even pay, access, shop, everything with their palm without anything. So this showed you that the empathize, the problem statement, defining the problem correctly, ideate around it, define the solution, and then prototype it. I'm going to give you some examples. When I said the mechanism, we said we do press release, frequent asked questions, and visualize. This is purely around empathize. And if you look at it, what we do, we do workshop, we understand the customer, we define, ideate with them, define the problem, and then we write a 1 page called press release, as if we are going to the future. احنا بنروح كأنه للمستقبل, كأنه we are launching the product before doing any technology. This is, we are between empathize, define, ideate, before prototype. And we say, as if like جامعة معينة, they are launching generative AI for their, let's say, curriculum to create on the fly through Gen AI quizzes and exam on the fly on a video or prototype, anything. So this is something as if we are describing the problem with the title, what we want to do, what was the problem, what we are solving, and what's the result. And this one is, we are doing it for our products and technology. When we did the Amazon Go, Kindle, Ring, wholesale, all of our technologies, Alexa, all of these, we did the same thing. So we use design thinking, empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and scale is exactly we do it with our customers, with our partners, internally and externally. As you can see, we write, also here we do the frequent asked questions. We put all the questions. We do all the questions here, and we answer them all. And then we do a storyboard. So once we sit on the board, whether we are investing 1 billion or 200,000 or 20 billion or $500, we use the same methodology. I used this when I wanted to create several solutions before, and I followed the exact thing. And this is how we innovate inside Amazon and Amazon Web Services. This is another story. This was a real solution that was done. It's around they showed is in a story, as you remember الكتب الكوميك المصورة اللي كنا نستخدمها ماجد وغيرهم. It tells the story, which is the problem, what is it, empathizing, how you define it, what you're solving it, and the result. This is another done with one of my students. Done. So I'm going to give you quickly some of the design thinking that we use in order to solve real-world problems. This one, VoiceMate, it's a sign language. They came to us, you know, that there are 600 million people who have disability, half of them deaf and mute. And then we created a solution that is translating the voice into text, into avatar sign language through AI real-time, both ways. And this one, MUN, they came to us during COVID. The Ministry of Municipalities, they came to us and say there is a document that people should acquire in Bahrain, which is called proof of address certificate. And that was physically, you need to bring the documents, pay online, takes 3 to 4 days. We did for them a real-time AI-based, because that was a problem for them. We did an AI solution through chatbot. You can upload the documents through AI, you can detect them, and you can do the payment, and then you can extract it. We have a video for that. Each one of them, we have a video and code, and it's published, GitHub code, all of that. Arduna is also, the municipality came to us and said, we have a problem. We cannot define the green areas all over Bahrain, and we have a problem that we pay 20,000 Bahraini dinars, which is around $60,000 every 6 months, for a plane to go all over Bahrain and take pictures, and then they digitalize them, then they label them, then it's out of date. We have a ground station in Bahrain. What we did for them is we labeled the satellite images, low Earth orbit, and we could tell on the fly which are the green areas that had, let's say, license or permitted or not permitted to do that on the fly. Shahadati is also, the university came to us through COVID, and they said, at the university, we don't have a mechanism because of COVID to give the students physically their certification and to do the authentication for them. So the script and the Shahada al-Jam'iyya, and it's done saved on blockchain, and the students, they can print it. It has QR code, and now the Ministry of Labor, they can just scan the QR code. It can authenticate that the certificate is done. Midar is one of the solutions. Why I'm stressing giving you examples, because it's all about design thinking, how we empathize, understand the problem, ideate, solve it, and build it. Midar is also named, the Midar is in Bahrain, is a hook for fishing, and it's around IoT solution. They have 53 tanks. Each tank is 5 meter width, depth, and length, and it used to take 1 million fingerling اللي هو بيوض الأسماك مليون. فعندنا 53 مليون بيوض أسماك. The problem is they didn't have any automation, and they came to us and they say the mortality rate is around 90%. 90% من الأسماك بتموت for a sudden drop in temperature or oxygen or salinity or pH or whatever. We created for them, once we defined the problem, we understood it, we created IoT solution. It can detect on the fly. It open the pumps والأكسجين والحرارة والتدفئة وكله on the fly with mobile and dashboard. So these are the general مقياس. Is also pollution. We've done many of them. Green tech, the greenhouse, the also automated for the airport to anticipate the number of staff by the counter because they came to us. They came to us and they say we cannot tell how many staff we need, how many employees we need for الجمارك والسوق الحرة والجوازات والأمور كلها and the counter, and we don't know. So we created for them. The problem was there is excessive number of staff not utilized, overstaffed in some of the time. So through data and through the solution we could tell according to schedule الطيارة, موعدها, عددها, ركابها من أي من جاي, how we can do let's say recommendation of the staff. مرحبا is also المتحف البحرين came to us and said we have a problem, we have decreasing عدد الزوار بنخفض, we cannot attract the young generation, and we cannot modernize our museum. So what we've done for them, we did a hologram showing the artifacts in real time, augmented reality for the kids, the young generation. They can take a photo, Snapchat it. We connected all of these things with Analyze, with the mobile application, gamification, and all of that. So when you understand the problem from design thinking, you empathize, you define the problem. If you empathize and define the problem, you can ideate multiple solutions, then you can prototype and scale. So I'm stressing a lot to show you a lot of problems. Zayana is also one, parking is another one, and this is another one. The university from Santa Monica, through Cal Poly, they came to us and they said, the university students, they rent scooters and they go from a faculty to another faculty, but they go على الsidewalk, بيطلع على الرصيف, and they hit pedestrians. And they say, we have a big problem. We want to keep the scooters, but we don't want them to go on the sidewalk. So when we understood the problem correctly, we defined it, we ideate around it, we created sensors connected to the scooter, and it can detect the sidewalk. Whenever the scooter goes على الرصيف sidewalk, it shuts down, and they have to go back to the street, and that solved the problem. So I'm stressing a lot on empathize, understand the problem, define the problem, ideate around it. Then we use the methodology of, as I mentioned to you. This one also during COVID, they came to us and they said, we have CT scan, but we have general doctors all over. And you remember through COVID, they cannot understand the CT scan because some of them are general doctors. So we created for them, we labeled 50,000 CT scans. And now any doctor in any place, في أي مكان في البلد, he can just take a photo of the CT scan, goes to the cloud. Through labeling it, we could tell that if it is COVID-19 patient, if it is it's in emergency, when does it need oxygen, how much oxygen, and when they need to be admitted. So this shows you in general, and I think I'll have 5 minutes to explain to you. This is a real project that we've done using design thinking for the largest ISP and telecom operator in South Africa called Syntec, and they came to us, and I want to mention to you two things. One of them is, look at the have to, it means I have a problem, and want to, it means an opportunity. So they have a problem, they have internal operations problem when they want to go to customer support, but they have to manage the resources for future needs. They have when there is a problem, they don't know what is a problem. If you look at the they need to solve the problem without knowing the exact source of the problem. So they take with them a lot of equipment when they go to solve the problem. في أبراج موزع كثير في South Africa, they have a problem, they cannot tell what is the problem. What they want, the opportunity is they know if possible faults, they know about it before it happens. What does it mean? It means that if there is a system that I can detect or predict some faults, for example, لما عندي عاصفة رملية, most of the antenna break down. So if there's عاصفة رملية, I'm going to a place, I take with me extra antenna because I predict that. So this, they want to predict the technical. So what they, at the end of the day, they want to improve the customer satisfaction. And also, let me show you a phrase, how we do frame the challenge. If you look at this, this is important because now from ideation, the result, I should come up with a challenge statement. Look at this challenge statement. How can we understand? And look at in italic, the source and impact. What does it mean in italic? It means this is a functionality. the source, it means I need to log into the backlog, the problems اللي صارت, and the impact. الهدف تبعها إنه impact means how many customers are impacted, how much does cost me, what's the downtime, all of these things. And predict, it means a functionality. So everything in italic, it means a functionality, maybe a solution. And then by analyzing log to prevent. So what I want to do is know the source, know the impact, predict, and prevent. So I can have improved the health and performance. So this is a challenge statement as coming as an outcome from that. This shows you that when we do now we come to the prototype when defined. This is the prototype side. We do the architecture and we do the architecture and design. And this comes after like 40 or 50% with engaging the customer to understand the problem, ideate, define. Then I come to prototype. Before I prototype, I do the architecture and design, then I start coding. And this is like a full, was done by one of my colleagues here. Is how to do the ideation. That's enable us to do 50 million deployments in a year. So that's my presentation today. I think we're done. Let me get back to you. And let me check here. If